So this is a standard AR-15 lower, but with a 9mm upper and some guts to convert your PMAGs to hold 9mm. Someone recommended that I try out these things called EndoMags, and essentially it's just a spring kit. It just slides into your PMAGs, and then you're able to load it up with 9mm ammo. They're very interesting, but we gotta find out, do they actually work as advertised, or are we gonna have a whole host of problems? Let me ask you guys a question real quick, and let me know this down in the comments, because this is something I'm kind of interested in. Right now, we have a couple of different options as far as making our AR shoot 9mm. Number one, we can do like the Roni. Number two, we can just do a dedicated AR build that shoots 9mm. Number three, we have the mag blocks that go inside. And now number four, we have the EndoMag. Which ones have you tried? And of the ones you've tried, which one has been your favorite? Let me know down in the comments. Now, previously I've done, how many builds have we done now? I think we've done 2 or 3 different 9mm AR builds with the Glock style magazines. We got the CMMG Banshee, which is one of my favorites. We also have the 9mm Angstadt Arms AR pistol. And then I got this side charging upper from FM Products. And this is probably the most affordable upper of the bunch that we have right here. And then most recently, I got this 9mm upper from Faxon Firearms. Now, I already understand that there's probably gonna be quite a few of you out there who say, dude, I just don't understand. If I'm gonna have an AR, why would I wanna shoot 9mm out of it? And I totally understand that. Even if you don't wanna use it for self-defense, at the end of the day, if you have a 9mm AR, all of your manual of arms are exactly the same. So when you go out to the range and you're training and shooting, you can train for a lot cheaper because you're shooting at about 15 cents a round versus close to 28 cents to 35 cents a round, depending on what ammo you get. That's the main reason I like them, is when I go to the range, I can shoot an AR, and I use a lot of steel targets, so I can shoot closer distances at my steel, as well as save money on ammo. And after we did the AR 9mm dedicated builds, we also looked at one that had a conversion block that goes into the magwell of your standard AR lower, just like this, but it's just a little block that goes in and it will hold Glock mags or Colt mags, whichever the case may be. But the downside to a lot of those mag blocks are you can almost build a dedicated lower for about $80 more than just a mag block. So they almost didn't make sense, and sometimes they can be very finicky. And so that's why I was really excited when I saw someone recommend these, because they're only about 50 bucks, I think. Or if you buy multiples, they're even cheaper. And at the range, I had some really mixed results, which we're gonna talk about here in a little bit. We're gonna go over the range footage. But this is most definitely the cheapest way to convert your AR-15 to 9mm, and it retains the last round bolt hold open. So let's see if this is gonna be something that is actually viable or not. Cool, guys, so here we are up close with the EndoMag. This is kind of a new AR build, quote unquote, because I got this brand new upper from Faxon Firearms, which we're gonna cover a little bit here in this video. But the main attraction today are these mag guts from EndoMag. Yes, I did buy these off of the request of some of you guys in the comments. So if there's ever anything you want me to try out, let me know down in the comments. I'm not always able to reply. I do try my best, but I always do read the comments. So most definitely, put those down in the comments. And then also, just so you guys know, there will be links for all of these products. Follow the first link in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube, just an FYI. So yeah, these EndoMags, they basically work just like your standard AR PMAGs. This is the part that you get. And then you need to have a Gen 2 or Gen 3 magazine, and they slide right in. Now, when you get these, it comes like this. And this is in your 10 round configuration. And then if you clip it here, it's like 15 rounds. If you clip it here, it's like 20 rounds. Then once it's up here, here's where I kind of messed up and I didn't quite understand it. Once you're up here, these little tabs, you gotta pop them over like this. This is your last round bolt hold open, I believe, right here. So if you notice, when I do put this in, when I pull the bolt, it 100% catches. That is awesome, because getting a last round bolt hold open 9mm AR can kind of be pricey. And I don't 100% understand why, but that's just the case. And the only thing that makes it a last round bolt hold open or not is just a piece of metal in the lower receiver. Well, let me take that back. Getting a last round bolt hold open on one that takes Glock mags is expensive. This is the last round bolt hold open right here. It's just a piece of metal that sits in there, and when you put the mag in, that pops it up. It's kind of the same thing on my Angstadt Arms, but that is a feature that I 100% always have to have, because if I'm gonna train with 9mm, you know, as my training ammo for my ARs, I want all the manual of arms to be the same. So if I'm training to do reloads with the bolt locked back, then when I shoot my real AR, it's gonna lock back. So I just want consistency. So this is a new upper, Faxon firearms. And for the three of you guys out there that have not heard of Faxon, they're made right here in the United States. That's always important, but what I think is most important about Faxon is their quality. Saying that, whenever you buy quality, you're gonna pay for quality. They're definitely not the cheapest, but I will say this, they're one of the very few AR companies that don't outsource anything. There are a lot of high prominence companies out there who say, yes, we manufacture in-house. Problem is, they don't manufacture everything in-house, and a lot of it is outsourced to a lot of the same companies that make products for Aero Precision, or they make parts for Anderson. You know, a lot of these companies, they won't tell you this, and I don't have a complete list of all the companies that do this, but I'll just say it like this. It's a lot more prominent than you might think. But you're gonna see why this upper was so amazing here in a minute when we go over the shooting footage. But that's what I kind of slapped on here for my initial testing. So now let's jump up top and let's talk about what the shooting experience was actually like. Back up top. So that's how it works up close and personal. It's really simple. The only thing you really need to keep in mind if you're gonna get these mag guts is you need to have either a Gen 2 or Gen 3 PMAGs. I tested them on my ETS mags, they wouldn't fit, and they won't fit on my Gen 1 PMAGs. So keep that in mind. It'll say right down in here, Gen 3 or Gen 2, whichever. As long as it's one of those two, it will work just fine. These might be legal in California. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know all the ins and outs of a lot of the slave states, but check your local and state laws before ordering this, but it should be legal considering it ships with only a 10-round capacity. When I went out to the range to test it, I tested it with the Faxon firearms upper receiver on my Aero Precision lower from an AR pistol build we did a long time ago. Well, so far so good. Let's see. Oh man, and it locked open. And like you could see, man, this thing runs like a top. I was shooting fast, it locked open every single time on the last round. And then I tried it with the FM Products AR9 upper. Okay, think we're clear. Okay, we had a malfunction right here. Failure to feed. Looks like we got a little bit of damage on the feed lip. Let's see if that affects anything. All right. Same thing again. Looks like it's just a jam. Failure to feed. It's not wanting to push it all the way back into battery. Yeah, I'm gonna say that this upper is not gonna work. Yeah, that's not good at all. That's not safe. And that's on the FM Products upper. And now I got a stuck casing that won't eject. All right, so before we move on to the next upper I want to test, I want to backpedal, go back to the first upper that we tried, which was the Faxon firearms upper. I just want to verify that it's not working because of the upper and not because of the EndoMag getting just a little bit of damage on the feed lip. Locked open. Looks like it just doesn't want to work with the FM Products upper. What's really weird about that is, you know, the bolt carrier groups seem to be pretty much the same thing, but as you can see, we got simulated full auto, which isn't safe. And in fact, I still have a stuck casing on here from that last simulated full auto. It comes off right now, but it was getting to where when I would pull the handle, it just wouldn't eject the round. I don't know why, but that's just really odd to me. All right, so on top we have the Faxon upper, on the bottom we have the FM Products upper. Now they're essentially about the same size. Main difference being this one is like your standard AR-15 charging handle, and this one is not. This one has a side charging handle right here. And I don't think that should be a huge deal, but apparently it was. Because there's no charging handle up here, you have this thing that flips up and your bolt comes out. I wanted to inspect the differences between these bolts because, well, the FM Products upper failed, and this is actually a fantastic upper. Right off the bat, let's do some comparison here. So we can already see one difference here. On the left, we have the Faxon Firearms bolt carrier, and on the right, we have the FM Products. I can see some kind of like, it raises up right here. I don't know what that's for. I'm not an engineer, but if you guys know, let me know in the comments. The breech face looks pretty much the same. And now right up here where we have this faux gas key, here's where a big difference is. On the FM Products, it's a lot more elongated than it is on the Faxon. And that's probably due to the side charging system, but it kind of makes me wonder if that had anything to do with it. I will say on the Faxon, this pin that holds this weight into place is a lot more robust than it is on the FM Products. So this is the Angstadt Arms bolt carrier group. You can see this one is more similar to the Faxon than it is to the FM Products. Again, our retaining bolt in the rear is still robust. Got the FM on top, Faxon in the middle, Angstadt on the bottom. The quote unquote false gas key is similar, but not quite the same. But this one worked as well when I was testing it. I just don't have the footage from it. But I think the main variance between these is this bottom lip right here on the FM Products, whereas these two is completely flat. This one has like this ramped look to it, if you can see that, and whereas these are 100% flat. So that might be the issue. I kind of wanted to take this bolt and put it into various uppers, but the problem is the block right here is not really the same, so I don't know if that would be safe or not. But it seems like the culprit is most definitely that ramp. I also tested it with my Angstadt Arms upper receiver, and it worked great as well. Unfortunately, my SD card ran out of space and I just didn't get the footage, but it ran just as good as the Faxon Firearms upper. And then I probably should have read more of the instructions before I tried it with the CMMG Banshee upper, but it does not work with the CMMG Guard or Banshee uppers. However, they do have a special model that is available for these uppers. And the reason is the bolt carrier group in the CMMG Banshee are more like a standard AR-15. So it has all the teeth and things into the bolt itself. It needs to have clearance. If you try using one of the standard mags with the Banshee, it's gonna catch on all these plastic lips up here. When I put it into this upper right here from FM Products, you know, it was weird. It was like, I started getting gashes onto the feed ramps of this, and that kind of has me a little bit concerned on how long are these actually gonna last. Well, at the range, I put a good 350 rounds through it. So with the Faxon upper and the Angstadt upper, they ran like a top, even after I had gashes on here. So that has me a little concerned, but we're just gonna have to see as more rounds get put through this. But it is most definitely the cheapest way you can do this. These things are about 50 bucks. All you need is this and a 9mm upper and you're good to go. The downside is I don't know how reliable they are with all the different types of uppers out there. So I only have a couple of them that I can test right here. I did order one for the CMMG Banshee, so we'll be testing that one in the near future as well. So final thoughts are, they're 50 bucks. If you're on a super duper 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 tight budget, I wouldn't say just go out and buy it right now. However, you know, if 50 bucks isn't a whole lot of money to you, then yeah, I would buy it. I think it's totally worth a try to see if it will work for you. However, at the moment, I can't 100% say I recommend it, but I'll put it like this. I wouldn't use it for self-defense yet, but I'd most definitely use it to go out to the range and plink and shoot for a lot cheaper. And I would most definitely use it to train with, because like I mentioned earlier, it's just a lot cheaper to train with it. You can still practice all your manual of arms, and you can shoot your steel closer range than you can with any type of rifle caliber. So for that price, I 100% recommend it. Self-defense, I'm on the fence about that right now. Let me just kind of pass this question off to you guys. What do you think of this? Do you think this is going to be a viable option? Have you guys tried this? Have you not? I think it is going to be a viable option. My only concern is how long it's going to last before this last round bolt hold open and stuff get all chewed up, because it is kind of a soft plastic. And then my next concern is, you know, why is it going full auto with some of my uppers? But if you want to watch any more of my other cool builds, I'll put a little playlist right up here so you can go binge on that. I got some stupid cheap builds, some Glock builds, all kinds of crazy stuff. But until next time, guys, you stay safe, stay sexy, and I love you.